Yes.
Oh.
And this Tahoe City trip was an outdoor vacation, so it offered up another one, like Alaska. And you can see there's another
So we have
also in Tahoe City, but this time in the winter. I'm going to
a
jump
question
into
about a
that
Fitbit
related
if we
memory.
can get to that.
Sure.
See, once
Go
again,
for it.
photos and videos at the bottom. And I want to
How does it work? Sandy, do you have one?
so many pictures.
No, I mean, she was here
Never
first.
go
She
back to
probably has
actually assemble
some
them into
questions.
something.
She was ahead of you guys.
Yes.
I've been in touch with Brian.
That's where it's
Oh, she's all caught up in what you did.
She's had extra counseling.
Oh, all right.
A Fitbit, what do you mean? On what level are you asking? How does it work?
From the very
From
basics.
kindergarten.
So,
This was a Fitbit that Bob's daughter had and gave it to him. It doesn't fit him and he'll never use it. So we decided that I would use it.
okay.
I don't have an iPhone, I have an Android.
I'm pretty sure Fitbit makes their operating system or their app for both operating
And
systems.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I didn't know.
So you would get on your phone, and have you downloaded things from the Play Store before? No? Okay.
Photos app is now doing analysis of just the right parts of the video to include, the
So
right
go to the
photos,
apps.
and it's editing them together with the right mood. and
For
with the
your
right
device, it
music.
should be called the
Now,
Play
having a memory
Store,
like this,
kind
you
of
often
gray
share it.
and
Sometimes you might want to make it a little shorter,
turquoisey with
so I
a
can
like
just
a
use the slider at
a
the
play
bottom,
button,
like
the triangular
shorter.
play button on it.
And maybe I want to change the mood a little bit. You notice there's a mood slider just up above there, and that was a pretty great snowball fight. So I'll pick Epic. And based on these changes, it's going to completely re-edit the movie to new music. Let's take a look.
And then right there, you would search and type Fitbit.
Okay.
That's pretty epic.
What does it do? Does it link via Bluetooth with your cell phone?
Yes. Yep. So it's that first option right there, called the Fitbit. And then you install it.
Can we give any instructions for this
No.
device? We know nothing.
So there you go. It's downloaded.
Such a great way to
Almost
experience
done.
memory movies. Biggest
And now it's installing.
So that is photos. Now next, I want to talk about the big news in all of our biggest services here at Apple. And to do that, I'm going to bring up for number 5, 6, and 7, Eddie Q back to the stage. Eddie.
What is this?
So what it does is it's in this. Yes, this looks like the fancy version. So it's
I knew.
well, just meaning it does more.
Oh.
So you push the button and it tells. Oh, here you go. So that's the time. Of course, it's wrong. So it's 9:35. You've taken 171 steps today. So this little button, and this is your display. We've gotten 0.7.
Does it reset to 0 every day?
Yes, at midnight.
Yeah, good.
All right.
Yep. Automatically resets. Burns 60 calories, 61, or no. Yeah. Elevation, you've not really gone up. You haven't done any activities.
Elevation of what?
Whether I've walked up steps or what.
Oh,
Yeah. Gone up in elevation.
so what does
So, and then this back here, one of those options on here is a,
Oh, there's stuff on the back of it. That's why.
well, there's not, no, it's not that one.
Makes it easier to follow and control, and we even include traffic on route.
Oh, 0, yeah, because it's not on your wrist. But this little thing back here
Uh-huh.
that you see is,
And you can even pan it so way further ahead to see what the traffic conditions
oh no, that's just, maybe it's not. Maybe, I think that's how you charge it.
Oh, yes.
Is that how you charge
Yeah.
it? Oh, it's okay. One of, this isn't this. There's another one that's one step up from this that also does your heart rate from here.
Oh, okay.
But it doesn't look like this one does.
So how do I reset the clock?
It may talk.
sync automatically with the iPhone
Yeah, well, her
or Android?
Max.
So you're gonna, which Fitbit are you using? I think you're using the Charge, not the. So, it doesn't
So
count
what does it measure? Calories, steps, what else?
calories. It's mainly a pedometer, but it does it does steps, and as we saw, it does elevation steps too. A lot of them track your
So is the
sleep as
pedometer
well.
gonna measure the
Does
distance
this
you
one
walk?
track your sleep?
I'm pretty sure most of them do, so I don't see why it would. So now I want you to create an account with Fitbit. So you'll have to enter an email address and a password.
Okay.
So yeah, it does. It's primarily a pedometer, but
Pedometer meaning measures distance or steps?
steps.
Steps.
Yeah.
Not-
Well, it measures distance too, but
If it knows the length of a step.
it
Yes.
guesstimates. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I forget mine. I still have one, and I haven't worn it in a while because it says that I bought one that has a disposable battery. It says the battery's supposed to last for like 6 months, and it lasted for like 2.
Oh, no.
And I don't want to keep spending a couple bucks on a battery that's lasting 2 months when it's supposed to last
This
6
one
months.
doesn't need it though, the charger.
With the charger, no. I had a charger, and mine weren't Fitbit. Mine were Jawbone, just a different company.
Isn't one of the problems with the Fitbit that it, as when you move, it automatically,
Well, yeah, if you're brushing your teeth with that hand, it's going to count those as steps too. So it's more of an activity, not necessarily strictly a pedometer. Yeah, if you wanted a pedometer, that's the one that goes on your hip, and then it
So
measures
as
the
we
bounce.
walk, we move our arms,
Yes.
and that's where it picks up the steps.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm doing this,
Yep. If you're shaking a martini with that hand, then you're gonna get a few extra steps going in. But it does a pretty good job of getting you a general idea, you know. And they suggest something like 10,000 steps a day for depending on your age. So yeah, create an account, and then it will link that Fitbit to that app for your device, and then you'll be able to see all kinds of information that you may or may not want to know about your activity each day.
Yeah.
does it do a tally?
Yeah. It tallies throughout the day, and then when you get to the next day, you can swipe back and look at yesterday's statistics. And I don't know how far back you can go backwards, but with mine, you could just keep going backwards until you started using the app and see how active you were each and every day. Yep.
Are we finished with the Fitbit?
For now, until
Okay.
she's done
I
with.
just have an easy question.
Yep.
Granddaughter's husband sent me this video
Mhm.
about Kaya walking, and it's too dark. Is there anything that I can do to lighten it up?
Let me see. Video. Edit. If you, yeah, I think you'd have to. Do you have iMovie on your? So no.
No. Okay.
You'd have to get. Well, it's free for you, so you could download it. Oh yeah, you do. It's right there.
Oh, okay.
So what you would do is you would, like we talked about last week, where you click and hold.
Right.
No, and then you would. Come on, I don't want 3D touch. Video, and then it saves it to your device,
Right.
and then you would go into your photos,
Okay.
and then go to videos, and then click on that one, and then click edit, and then those 3 dots. It's a long way to get there, and then click iMovie. Now, should be able to. No, we don't. You used to be able to.
Yes, that's correct. So now you'll see that at the top of For You, there's a discovery mix. Now this contains
I
the
don't want
songs
text. I
that
don't want
picked
music.
just for me,
I don't want
so I
to
can
trim
discover
it.
new artists and new music. There's also the recently played, like we just
We
listened
don't
to
want it
Straight
to
No
look like
Games,
that.
right there, I can add music
I guess
to
it's
it.
not gonna.
And
Bummer.
daily curated playlist. Now it's Monday. I usually like to strut into the office on a Monday.
Let me try something really quick.
It's called the Fashion Runway Strut. That's all about me. It's right here. Okay? Now, this is not a typical Monday, but I still want to know what I'm strutting to. So let's listen. What do we got? Yeah, that's right. She said, get it, girl. Okay? Now listen. I couldn't get all right? I couldn't get my strut on up and down the stage. It's too early for that. I don't want to hurt you guys. Okay? So we're gonna pause this. Okay? All right. All right, but we are gonna get back to this. Okay. So the rest of For You, as you'll see,
Nope, those were the
has
only
awesome
options.
music that again is
I thought you used, maybe they took that feature out. I remember being able to. I thought I'd remembered doing it before, but
Okay, well, thank
I
you
guess
for
not.
trying.
Yeah.
So I can't get the first day to change on this. Do I push that? I need to get back to 1947. It's going to be a long time. That's my cat.
Right? Don't pay attention. Now we've also got this easy navigation down here, music, curated playlists, and even top charts. So when we tap on top charts, we can see
Seems like there should be an easier way to do it.
Thing.
Who else is on there? Now let's go to radio. Radio is live. You guys know that play is live? All right, and Beats One is
Oh.
becoming the largest
It's a lost
radio
one.
station in the entire world. Now we can explore this one and see what's live. Listen right now. We can also see the upcoming shows, and we can even see featured shows by legendary artists like Dr. Dre, Pharrell Williams, Mary J. Blige, Sir Elton John.
Yeah, why
You
would
guys listen to a show? It's called the Rocket
I
Hour.
guess so.
It's amazing. And if you haven't listened to it, tap right there and listen on demand at your leisure. So that's awesome.
Oh, I don't know what I
Oh, how did you do that?
I don't know.
Oh, well.
Well, we'll go with it.
We know it, we'll do it, okay.
But it
Thank
worked.
you. That was good.
There's another. There should be another one down. You're looking for a plug, Bob? There should be one down. Yeah, there it is. At the one more, where there's no books on the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So speaking of, so today is Apple's what they call the Worldwide Developers Conference. It's where they unveil. Usually, it's just all the software behind their different devices.
I didn't mean to interrupt. It didn't take it, it went back to like 291.
Really? That's so bizarre that it's doing that. No, it's fine. The watch, Apple Watch, is a much more expensive and fancier version.
Our readers are loving it. In fact, we have over 60 million monthly users reading it. With iOS 10, we've got some big changes. It starts with all new design. Here's what it looks like. We've taken all of the stories in For You.
I could do that. I thought maybe.
Which makes it easier to follow. Here's top stories. Here's trending, where you can see the most popular stories right now. All of the topics.
Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about the date. That'll be fine.
Yeah. But one of the cool things about, because the Watch OS has, or the Apple Watch has a pedometer built in it as well.
Oh, the Apple Watch does?
Yeah. It's got a pedometer. It's got a heart rate monitor. If you look on the bottom of it, it's got these 3 circular things that monitor your heart rate through your wrist. That, monitors the blood flow. One of the cool things that they did for updating it was it's now more, it's friendlier. That's the word. It's friendlier for people who are in wheelchairs. So now as they push, it measures those as steps for people who are in wheelchairs, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
I was doing other stuff when they talked about the Watch OS, but none of us have one, so I didn't pay super close attention to what's going on with the watch. TV OS, which is the Apple TV, their operating system. Apparently, because I don't have one, I don't think anyone here has one, but you used to have to, every time you downloaded an app and you wanted to link it, you would have to sign on. It now has a single one-time sign-on process, so you don't have to sign on every time you update something. And then live tune-in, I guess if
What is
you,
that?
this is for the Apple TV.
Oh, live tuning.
Live tune-in, you can now click on, you know, ESPN2 or something, and it'll automatically take you to what's live on those stations. And so if you subscribe to their sports package instead of through your cable company, or if you don't have a cable company anymore and you use that one, then you can tune in live to a lot of these.
Can we back up for a moment?
Yep.
What would be necessary for me to have Apple TV?
A TV
This year,
and internet.
big
CD?
for HomeKit and iOS.
No, so it's a little box.
Oh, and I get that from Apple, I assume.
Yeah, you buy it
So I
from,
buy their little box.
yep, for $129 or something like that. There's two models. They're with the size of the hard drive. Yeah, so you buy that and you plug the HDMI cable into the TV, and then internet, Wi-Fi, or I think maybe it only does Wi-Fi. But anyway, you plug it in the TV, and it is what, you know, smart TVs have the built-in apps. That's what it is, but it also does a lot more. In terms of, it also will, you could AirPlay or mirror, as another term, your Mac or your iPad or your iPhone through the Apple TV onto your TV.
So what's on my screen would be on the TV?
Without any cables.
I can do it now with the cable.
With a cable, yeah, that's what I'm doing, using an HDMI cable to do that. So this would do it without any cables.
But I wouldn't be getting any different programs.
You might, because it just depends on what contracts people have with the different companies. So you may or you may not. I don't know for sure. But anything that you own through Apple, so if you own any iTunes movies or any of your iTunes music, could all be played through your TV using the Apple TV. So there are a lot of possibilities. It just depends on how much you've invested in their products. So if you don't think you'd use it that much, it's not a worthwhile investment.
No, I don't.
Yeah. But they've done a lot. So they've done those kinds of things. OS 10. So for the laptops and the desktops, Bob, they have now changed the name to Mac OS because they've realized that every single one of their other operating systems except for the Mac was OS 10. So they changed it to Mac OS. I don't know. People were excited about it. If you have an Apple Watch, you can, I think you have the sign in, when you open up the Mac, you have to sign in with your password. If you've got the watch, it now knows that it's you, so it just automatically logs you in instead of having to type the password in anymore. Kind of cool. I don't think they only showed the watch. They didn't say anything about your phone or an iPad, so I think it's only the watch.
My daughter Carolyn has one. I'm still wearing it, but I don't know whether she does much with it other than look at the time.
Mhm.
This can be a real problem where there's a lot
Yeah.
of voicemail
I
spam.
think it's one of those
So
bells
now
and
we're supporting
whistles.
an extension API where
For
third
me, I
parties like
really have to
Tencent
examine it.
can provide
Yeah, I may. They lowered the price
possible phone spam.
by $50 per
Useful for a lot of people around
model,
the world.
so it's getting a little more appealing, but not yet. iCloud is syncing even more things. You know, it's only certain things that it syncs, and now it's going to do even more, especially with the Mac.
You know, I was reading that this morning in Business News that I think it's Apple and Microsoft, or Facebook and Microsoft are coming together to put a 3,000-mile cable in from the East Coast to Europe,
Mm-hmm.
because the cloud is not fast enough. And that kind of surprised me. That, I mean, they talked about how many terabytes you can transmit per second.
Yep.
Some number that's kind of meaningless to me, but apparently it's almost instant.
Yeah.
Speed of light.
Yeah, there's I think I've talked about this before, and I don't understand all of it, and I don't know what kind of cables or what they use, but the stock market doesn't use the cloud, and stock market companies pay tons of money to have these kinds of cables to get the information that much faster to them than their rival companies, their competitors.
Because I guess with computer programming, you can complete transactions in milliseconds.
Yep. And those milliseconds make millions.
Yeah, millions of dollars over a period of time.
And so having that millisecond or two advantage over your competitor is huge in that market. So it makes sense. It seems crazy, but yeah, it does. It makes sense. And also they're doing optimized storage for the Mac. So Macs now are exclusively run on flash storage, which is a lot more expensive. And so typically you're going to buy a smaller hard drive simply because it's really expensive to get a larger hard drive. And so they're doing optimized storage. Files that you haven't used in a really long time will be backed up to the cloud and won't take up space on your computer. And so they said that they did one test and there was only 20 gigs left on a 250 gig computer. And then they used this new optimized storage feature with the new operating system, and the computer then suddenly had 150 out of the 250 gigs available on its hard drive. So it just took all that stuff that's hardly, and you could, if you need to access it, it's instantly there via the cloud. But that if you aren't using it, it's just going to automatically store it in the cloud and free up that space on your computer. Yeah. You can now use Apple Pay on your Mac. So that secure Apple Pay that you do on your phone, you can now do if you're shopping on the internet. Of course, companies will have to adopt this, but I'm sure they will. But say you're shopping on Amazon, you could click, I want to pay with Apple Pay. You get a little notification on your phone, and then you just hold the Touch ID, and it sends the transaction through. So you can pay with Apple Pay on your, or from your watch. Picture-in-picture, so newer iPads allow picture-in-picture, so if you're watching a video and you want to browse the web at the same time, you can turn it into a small little picture in the corner of the screen. They're now bringing that to the Mac. So I could pop this window out and not have Safari open when the new update comes out.
The new 10.
Yeah. Whatever their number they're assigning to it, which is cool. And then Siri is coming to the Mac.
It's coming to the what?
To the Mac. So we have Siri on our phones and our tablets, which is the, you have OK Google. I don't know if you ever use it, but you can talk to your phone instead of typing all the time. They call it Siri for the iPhone. And now they're bringing it to the Mac.
Oh, so I can dictate text.
You can, yep, you can say,
Siri.
yep, you can say, Siri, send a message to John, tell him I'll see him in an hour. And then Siri will dictate that, and it'll say, are you ready to send it? And it sends a little preview of what she thinks you said.
Not the same as what I can do here, except I can do it on a Mac.
Exactly. And they're making Siri even better on all of the devices, so she'll be even better at doing what she does. One of the things they said about the phone, which is if someone says, you know, if someone sends you a text and says, what's John's phone number, what's John's email address, she'll, and want, you know, that it's got that little quick reply thing on your phone. If you click on a text message and you get the little come on.
I get a copy or more on mine.
Well, but so you've got your keyboard, and then that little thing that we showed how you can pop up and down where it suggests words. Do you remember that? That will now display John's email automatically for you to click and then send, instead of getting out of the app and looking it up and all of those kinds of things.
Brian, when I get the keyboard up on my messaging, and I decide I don't want to send a message, how do I get rid of it?
You would you scroll down or you scroll up away from the keyboard on your text messages to look, and then it disappears. Did it disappear for you?
No.
Let's see. So there's your keyboard, and then you go like that. So you scroll
down.
Yeah. Sorry, it's scroll. You're going up in the conversation.
Yeah.
Sorry, the physical action is down. You're right.
Okay.
Not
Yes. Yeah.
right down.
Not on the messages, not on the keyboard.
Oh, okay.
So
So get rid of
That's
the
simple.
down.
no, just on the messages,
Okay.
and now it's gone.
Oh, okay, got it.
So that way you can see all the messages that you need. So yeah, so if it's going to be more intelligent. And then you can also, and I don't know if there's a limitation on it. They didn't suggest one at this time, but sometimes when they present new technology, they don't tell you which devices are capable of it. But if you do have a Mac and an iPad, and I'm assuming iPhone, you can find something on your phone or iPad. I'm going to say just iPad. And if you click copy on it, then you're doing something on the Mac too, you can paste it on the iPad or on the Mac as if it were something you copied from the Mac. So, so it knows, it's now talking all the time, so it will know that you copied something from your iPad, and then you can paste it into a presentation or something. So it's almost like a second monitor now, like you've got two monitors working together, which a lot of people have. They've got 2 or 3 monitors set up so they've got multiple desktops working at once doing
So
different
when I see
things.
somebody with 3 monitors in front of them, they just have 3 separate programs running.
Potentially, yeah. Or more, like they might have 3 programs running on this one, and then another 1 or 2 on this one, another one on this one. Yep. Yeah, and you can have virtual desks, and that's what they are. So if I swipe with 3 fingers, Bob, I've got 2 desktops right here, and they've got completely separate programs open.
I've never done that swiping with 3 fingers.
Yep. And you can have more than 2. You can, I don't know how many, if there's a limit, but you can have as many as you want. So, and then this shows desktop 1 and desktop 2, and then I can click add. Now there's a 3rd, and a 4th, and a 5th. And And then that way, you know, if you're doing something on one, which Windows has now too with Windows 10, by the way. So this isn't just a Mac thing anymore. But, and as you can see on my main desktop, I've got, you know, a family photo, and on this one, it's a thing of the earth. So they can be truly separate. And so on here, I've got, you know, all the stuff for class. Normally I have this on the second desktop. I have all my class stuff on there, and then I leave just whatever I've been working on work on my main desktop. But I hadn't done anything today yet, so I just left it here. So it's kind of cool. That way you can, you know, and then it's, you don't have 50 windows open of Internet Explorer, Safari, and Word, and PowerPoint, and all these different things open all at the same time on one screen. You can spread them out on multiple screens if you're doing different projects on each one. So now for the phone. The user experience has been, and I saw some of it, but not all of it, and they're still doing more. I'm not sure what. But anyway,
The new phone or?
no, just the new operating system for the phone.
Okay.
Yeah. They've not talked about if they're, if they are, they haven't said anything about a new phone yet. But they've redesigned the lock screen. So if you get with the notifications, whenever you get something like a text message or an email on your lock screen, they used to just be those lines, you know, it'd be, you know, mail, and then it would be just a line separating the next thing from the next thing. Now they look more like chat bubbles. That's something else. I don't know what that is, but they're chat bubbles now, like. And for you, because you have 3D touch, you can click and hold on that notification and completely interact with it without ever unlocking your phone.
Yeah.
So if you want to reply to a text message, if you want to read the entire email that someone just sent you, whatever you get.
Boy, that's gonna be handy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
So, and at this time, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but when you get a notification on your lock screen, when you open up or when you click on it to look at your lock screen, your photo has been kind of grayed out, basically. It gets really dark and you can't see what your lock screen picture is. They got rid of that effect, so your photo just stays straight up there and that little chat bubble just pops over it, or notification bubble. And again, they didn't say what it was for and what it wasn't for, but are available on. But now they have what they call it, raise to wake. So, because sometimes if you push the button for your phone to see what's on the lock screen, just by doing that, touching it, the Touch ID will unlock your phone and your notifications aren't on the screen anymore. So now they have raise to wake. So as soon as you lift your phone up from a resting position, the screen lights up and shows you what's on your lock screen. So kind of nice. Yeah, wallpaper no longer darkens. 3D touch notifications, which I just mentioned, look more bubble-like instead of just lines. Control center is that the swipe from the bottom of the screen. It's been updated too to look more chat bubble-like. It's no longer just this weird frosty looking thing. But you'll then be able to swipe one direction and have an entire music app all from the lock screen. So you can access if you want to start playing music, you don't have to ever unlock your phone. You just swipe from the bottom to get to your control center where you can access your Wi-Fi or, you know, this screen. If you swipe from right to left, it'll then bring up an entire music app for you to do whatever you want with your music. So you don't ever have to unlock the phone and go to your music library. So kind of cool.
More convenient.
Yes. And you can slide the other direction to get to your widgets, which I don't know if many of us use widgets right now, but
What it is.
So if you unlock your phone right now and you swipe from right to left from that home screen. No, did I say that wrong? Sorry, left to right. This is why I don't do directions from the home screen. Those are widgets that you have.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
You can now get those from your lock screen as well. And then, like I mentioned, Siri is a whole lot smarter. She can suggest email addresses or phone numbers or different things like that. They're now going to have, so this technology has been around for a long time with apps on desktops, which is photo recognition. So if you've got a photo app on your computer, it typically will if it has the software in it, you can find it recognizes faces. It has facial recognition, and so it can sort people by their face. So now your phone and your iPad are going to be able to do that also. So if you're looking for a whole bunch of photos of yourself or your niece or nephew or cousin or whoever, then you can search by their face now. Or it says it'll even do object and scene recognition. So if you have horses or something, which is one of the things they showed, it will now recognize horses. And so you can find all pictures where there's horses in your photo. Or, if you've got a nice car, part of a car club or something, and you've got lots of pictures of your car, it will then categorize all the car photos together. Or if you have a lot of pictures taken, in Mount Rainier, you've got a lot of Mount Rainier photos, it will recognize Mount Rainier and categorize all those together. And it'll do, and then in general, it will cluster photos even better based on location and events. So if it recognizes something as an event, it will cluster all those together, and so you can find your memories even faster. So there's
what phone service do you use?
AT&T.
Do you get a good signal for all?
No. I'm lucky if I have any.
What about one of those?
We have an M-cell, a microcell, mini cell tower. We do have one. However, the one that we have, we got it for free. It was some special offer for being a loyal customer. But it's the old 4G, not the LTE. And so if our Wi-Fi is ever down, it's as good as no service, basically. We can text and do some basic stuff, but if we wanted to search the web or do anything like that, it's just, I don't know.
So that, I have one of those. Sorry. And it plugs into my router. Anything else, just the router?
Yeah, you plug it in to get power, and then you plug it into the router.
Okay,
Yep. So it uses your Wi-Fi or your internet and converts it into a cellular signal. Because that's all it really is. It's just a different version of internet data. So it just has to convert that signal to one that your phone recognizes. Yep. So it's all data now. So, and that's it. There's more. It's still going on. I have no idea what they're talking about anymore. But so, and there will be a summary and a highlight of what people think has been the best things revealed about this. So, so if you're interested in seeing see what comes out, and it'll come out this fall. It always releases, the update will always release the same time or about a week before the new phone comes out, which is the last several years been the end of September. So did you get your Fitbit working?
I think so.
Did the app make sense after you got it set up?
So,
You think so?
yeah, and I figured out how to do the year too.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's no longer 1991. Good. Yeah. So you just go to that app each day and it'll update you, or you push that little button on the side and it'll give you mini updates.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No problem. It's they're neat little devices, and I used it every day regularly, and I would, I'd wake up in the morning, I would check my sleep. Does it say it does sleep? Yeah. So when you fall asleep, when you wake up in the morning, it'll show you what I don't know what they call it, but it categorizes it into deep sleep and light sleep.
Okay.
So if you're tossing and turning, that's light sleep. If you're laying still for a long time, that's your deep sleep.
Okay.
And it'll, mine with the Jawbone, the dark blue was deep sleep and the light blue was light sleep. And it would break it down to how many hours of each you got, on top of having a graph of here is your dark sleep, or your deep and your light, and then you went deep again and light. And then if you wake up in the middle of the night, it even has a little, I think it's orange is when you woke up,
Okay.
and if you woke up and you went and got a glass of water or used the restroom or something, it marks that in your sleep pattern as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yeah, and again, different companies, but mine also, would say, today's goal, do you want to do it? Get an extra 30 minutes of sleep tonight. Try going to bed by 10:37 tonight. And so you can accept that challenge or not,
Pretty detailed.
Yes, yeah. And one of the times it did that, we were at Disneyland. I'm like, we are not going to bed at 10:30 tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Lucky if we're in bed by 1. So yeah, they're really neat. They're really handy. And again, I haven't used the Fitbit, but the Jawbone also did food. You could actually enter what you were eating with each meal, and it gave you a score, and it gave calories and different things like that. And it even had a list. So like if you went to a huge list. So if you went to McDonald's and ordered their number 6, you could put that in there and it would calculate and tell you that it's a very bad meal, but here's what you get for it.
Oh, wow.
So they're great. They're great apps or devices.
So one other thing that Bob and I have a problem with is I've been going over to his house during the day and I have no phone service over there.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Verizon because I have a Harstine, it's bad reception anyway. Yep. I have a network extender. We call it a booster, but we call it network extender. Mm-hmm. And I'm on Verizon, he's on AT&T. So we went to the Verizon store and I've gone online to Verizon, and half the time they tell me we can do it through my phone and get service at his place, and the other one says that we can't. So it's a real problem as to whether can you help us with that at all?
I don't know. I do know that they're 2 different cellular signals. Now, if you guys were like Verizon and Sprint, they use the same cellular signal, but AT&T and Verizon use completely different signals. So my guess would be no.
That's what we're doing wrong, is we haven't said it's AT&T probably.
So, yeah, I think the best option would, if you have Wi-Fi, right, Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you connect to the Wi-Fi, you should be able to do most things with your phone.
And there's a menu selection on our phone, supposedly, where it will automatically connect to the Wi-Fi for phone service. It's called call enhancement or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we haven't been
Advanced calling.
Advanced calling. And apparently the model she has is supposed to permit that. And with that, she would be able to make and receive calls via
the Wi-Fi instead of the cellular. Right.
And rather than cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we're not doing that.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it. I know that Apple has this, I've mentioned before, there's FaceTime, but they also released FaceTime audio, which is, so it's Wi-Fi calling. You're able to call with your Wi-Fi if you don't have a cell signal. but it's through FaceTime, so it's only other Apple devices that you can
Okay.
call. But and I don't know if advanced calling is the same. It sounds like it's the same type of feature where it's using the internet, and so you may only be able to call other Android devices with it, as opposed to a landline or Bob on his Apple device.
Okay.
I don't know for sure, but that sounds like what Apple has.
So then our next option would be a network extender.
Yeah.
Could we have two network extenders plugged into the same?
Yeah. They just would both be using your Wi-Fi or your cable internet, which isn't a huge deal. They don't take a lot of data if you're not actively using it all the time.
Okay.
And if you're not calling and you're doing other things, browsing the web, checking Facebook, that's all going to be using the Wi-Fi, assuming that you're connected to it.
Right.
And so that extender adapter would only be really in use when you're making phone calls.
Okay.
Yep. But yeah, you would just get because your router, Bob, should have multiple ports. So you just plug it into one of the open ports and plug the extender in there and just keep them separate. So they can run side by side, but they can't run in conjunction
They want
with each
about
other.
$250.
That shouldn't be. That's really expensive. I think the one that we have for it was $100.
That's what I got my one at home
Yeah.
for, was 100. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when we went back to Verizon this time, they said, no, that's a mistake, it would be 250.
That's really bizarre.
This one on loops, looping all the sides looks a little interesting. I'm gonna check it out.
Oh yeah.
Now we have a
Network extender, Verizon Wireless.
I'll go ahead and run it and see what happens. The light moves forward, he gets the gem.
I'm gonna close you. We're not listening anyway. Is yours a Samsung device? Do you know?
Yep.
Okay. Just making sure. Look at that. Man.
Yeah, they're
$250, right?
$250.
Yeah. That is insane that they would charge that much for it. Yeah, I mean, unless yours was an old, the one that you have at home is an old one, or if they did give you a deal because as a Verizon customer, every so often they do things like that. Like we got the one for free. As long as it was free as long as we kept our contract for it, and we haven't. I mean, it's been 5-6 years since we did that, and they wanted 2 years out of us, but which we were never concerned about.
Right.
Maybe it was something like that where they give it to you for $100 instead of
Yeah.
$250. So, but yeah, apparently. Network extender, wireless network extenders at Best Buy. Let's see what Best Buy has to say about it. If we can get the pages to load. Maybe. But yeah, that is the route to go, is to get the extender. Did the time update when you connected it to your?
Yeah.
It did. Okay. Good. There we go. No thanks. Well, that's a Wi-Fi range extender. Yeah, these are just Wi-Fi ones. So if instead of buying a router, this extends that range.
Is there any kind of a device that you can connect to a phone that is an antenna booster?
Oh, you mean to increase the signal that the phone receives or connects? Yeah, I bought one once years ago before smartphones. It didn't do anything. Mm-mm.
I've got a little CB radio, and I bought a special antenna that really boosts the signal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it stretches out 6 feet if I wanted to.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you can look. I haven't looked in a long time, but you know, they used to be around, but I never experienced any benefit from it, really. But you might be able to, and you might. I don't know if you attach it to like your phone case or something, but
There might be. But
yeah.
You're not familiar.
I'm not anymore. The one that we bought was it's basically a sticker that you know, you take the backing off so that you get it sticky, and then you stick it to your device or your whatever they tell you to stick it to, and then it's got all this wiring that you see on the front side. And you know, there's a little texture to it because the wiring is not flat. But so I don't know. I mean, it's worth looking into. I'm not familiar with them anymore. It's been since I was in seminary that I've looked at those. So, oh my gosh, almost 10 years.
Oh, 10 years. Getting
Well,
old,
not
getting
quite,
old.
but I graduated in 2008. So 8 years ago. 8 years ago last month. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. Any other questions? I'm sure there's plenty more fun stuff happening right now on the keynote.
Problem is, I don't know the right question to ask.
I know.
I don't know what I don't know.
Well, just wait till the new operating systems come out, then you get
So
to.
this new operating system, I assume I'll get a message on here somewhere telling me that to download it.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, typically last year, and this has been typical for the phone, the update has come the 3rd week of September, and the new device comes out the 4th week of September on a Tuesday. So if you want to look at the 3rd Tuesday in September, that's about probably when it'll release. And then the Mac, I don't think the Mac came out till November last year. So depending, the update.
So it's going to be maybe November this year.
So yeah, it just depends on. I think it got pushed back, so it just depends. Sometimes those things happen, unknown bugs, and things take longer than they think they do, and so they have to extend the release date.
My phone is always updated first before the iPad.
Probably because of cellular service, so it's constantly looking, whereas your iPad might not be as often. Just because your phone will always work regardless. And it's, yep.
I noticed when I unplugged this, it's a little warm. Would that be normal?
Yeah. If it's actively charging your device, and that works, you probably don't notice it as much with an iPhone or any kind of phone or tablet, because you're not usually unplugging it. Usually just stays in the wall socket. But when it's actively charging and really sending power to it to charge it, they get warm. Yep.
Susan, he had a great tip for us about phones that you should at least once a month let the phone battery run dead.
You
dead,
should.
And then
Is that nowadays
recharge
still with
it.
the new?
Okay, I'll save your battery.
Yeah, it keeps the battery healthy. Yeah. It doesn't extend the life.
Sure, I do that by accident once.
Well, mine randomly shuts down at like 15%.
Yeah, mine shut down yesterday.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. I was we were at